Rod, he was upset. He was mad. He was like, you don't got your ID? He like, how come you don't got your ID when you knew we was coming to the club? He like, so the security girl like, all right, look, for the people that got IDs, if you trying to come in, come in. So so Rod like, he tells Charlotte like, friend, I'm finna go in. She like, let's just go to the park and just finish the bottle and just kick it. He like, friend, come, we already here. We already here. You can find a way home. We already here. So I'm like, yeah, y'all can go ahead. So Charlotte like, friend, come on. So boom, we walks off, right? He's mad. He like, what's your address? He like, I'm finna take you home now. I'm like, all right. So now I'm walking, boom. I open up the back door. Charlotte get in, I get in. Boom, I slam the door. His other friend get in, he get in. He mad. So he said, he like, how do you know we coming to the club and you don't bring your ID? I just asked everybody, did they need to stop at home? Now, this is the deal. He was a Leo. I didn't find out until after, but I saw where his temper was coming from. He like, I asked everybody, he like, why you just didn't been say you ain't had your ID? He like, see, friend, this why I go solo. This why I come to the club solo. So boom, his phone ringing. His phone ringing. So it's some people that he already hit through the grapevine. People he already hit through the grapevine on some, yeah, we here, where you at? He like, I'm parked, I'm still out in the front. I can't come in. He like, come to my car, I'm parked right. He telling him exactly where he was parked at. He like, I'm parked right in the front. Boom, they come, they spot his car. Charlotte, them, they all get out. I stay inside the car. I felt embarrassed. I stayed in the back. I stayed inside the car like, all right. Just come on, take me home, get me close to home, anything. Boom. He like, you hear him like, yeah, we can't get in the club because people don't got their ID. How you forget the main thing we need to get inside the club? So they laughing. They like, well, just come here for a little bit and have a drink. So Charlotte like, nah, friend, let's just go to the park. Come on, let's just go. So boom, Rod like he finna go. Boom, they get back in the car. We pull off. He like, I am so mad. He like, never again. He like, never again. So I'm just sitting there like, he like, all right, we're going to stop at this park. We stopped at the park. He like, how did you get liquor if you didn't have no ID? He's still pressing it. He's still pressing it. All right. He's still pressing it. I'm like, they didn't card me. He like, you know what? Something ain't right. So he like, I'm going to take a couple of shots and then I'm going to take you home. He had a couple of shots. They had a couple. I was like, I'm good because I knew I was going to go to the crib. So he like, give me your address one more time. He put it in his phone. Boom. He pulls off. So I'm sitting back there with Charlotte. I'm trying to like grab her hand. So she like moving for me. I'm like, she like, oh my God. She like, friend, he just going to keep calling my phone back to back like that. Now she had action always on her phone. So he like, who? She like, my baby daddy, he got one day to watch his own son cancer. I'm like, oh, you got a kid? She like, yeah, I'm 30. And my man, I'm like, dang, I'm about to turn 17, but whoa. I didn't say that out loud, but at the moment I was like, whoa. Whoa, you put the fire under. So I was like, oh, so she like, what? So she picked up the phone, what? I loved her personality, the way she was feisty. She was, so he said whatever. She like, okay, well, I'll be home in a little bit. We'll be able to talk. She like, get off my line, click. I'm like, oh, I'm like, that's your boyfriend? That's your man? She like, what? Don't ask me my business. And no, that's not my boyfriend. We have a kid together. I'm like, that's cool. So boom, we pull up. He like, which one your house? Raw ready to get me out his car, out his vehicle. Which one? I'm like, oh, that one right there. He like, all right. I'm like, thanks, y'all. So he like, come on, friend. He like, let my seat up. So Charlotte open up the door. She gets out. I'm like, hey, can I get a hug? She like, no. I'm like, no. Okay, so boom, they get in the car. I'm like, all right, but they skirt. All right, bye. Boom. So now I'm paranoid. I'm like, I got to get in this house. I'm not climbing through the window. I got my key. All right. I think I got an ultimate plan. I'm trying to brainstorm my mind. Hey, it's McDonald's. They made me stay a little later. They had me working a drive-through. It's open 24/7. All right. Boom. I put my key in. Boom, open the first special door. Boom, I put my other key in. Doo-doo. Front door now opening. It's pitch dark. So as I get ready to cut the hallway light on, boop, my mama got a chair sitting right there in the hallway by my door. She like, I'm like, you scared me, Mom. She said, yeah, you scared me too. I thought you would be in bed. Why you coming in my house late after hours? Where you coming from? I'm like, from work. She like, from work. You sure you coming from work? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming from work, Mom. She like, how you coming from work when I left up to your job? Because I was worried because I knew what time you got off. Because I do have your schedule. And they said, you been gone. Where were you, Roshan? I'm like, you came up to my job. Where were... Well, keep playing with me. Where were you, Roshan? I'm like, I was hanging out with some friends. So why you just didn't say that when I asked you in the first place? Why would you want to just sit up here and just... I don't get you. I'm like, yeah, I was just hanging with my friends a little bit. But you supposed to came straight home, right? I'm like, yeah. She like, in another thing. She grabbed the house. She went downstairs and she grabbed the house phone. She said, come here. And she calling whoever she calling. And she put it on speakerphone and it's ringing. So I'm just sitting there. And she say, where your phone at that I bought you? I'm like, oh, in my pocket. And I look at it and I see the house number popping up. I'm like, you calling my phone? She said, and I've been calling. I said, oh, but I got it on silent. Who told you that? Why you got a phone if you're going to have it on silent? What you got it on silent for? I done called you 5 times looking for you. So you just not checking your phone. And so I'm like, I'm sorry. She like, why I smell like you been drinking? I'm like, I ain't been drinking. I'm like, I had a pop, but I ain't been drinking. She said, you know what? Rody Dody, get out my face. Go upstairs. I'm like, Mom, I'm sparing you. I'm like, okay. So I just hurried up. Bye. Bye. I go upstairs. I'm like, I'm trying to smell it. I don't know if I smell like liquor or not. Boom. I sleep it off. The next day, I go to work, right? It's the next day I had to work in the morning at 11 a.m. So my daddy's downstairs. He's on the computer. I'm like, good morning, Dad. He like, good morning. He like, I heard you had a late night last night. I'm like, oh, no, I was just hanging with friends. He like, your mama told me that she was going out there to look for you when at work. I'm like, yeah. He like, make sure you be safe. Make sure you come back home tonight. I'm like, oh, I get off early today. I'm like, I do 11 to 4. Straight like that. He like, okay. So boom, I leave. I go to work. Now, when I get to work, the energy feels a little bit weird, okay? You got Rye, you got Charlotte, you got the person that came with us, and Rye the type that like to gossip, so everybody was on the shift. They loved him anyway. So it was like, when I came in and I clocked in, I'm like, hey, Charlotte. She like, good morning. And I walked, I'm like, hey, Rye. He like, ignored me. So I was like, all right, so I go straight on fries because that's what I was good at. He said, you're not going to be on fries today. I said, but I'm always on fries. He like, you're going to get on the grill. I'm like, but I don't know how to work the grill. He like, okay, it's people back there that know how to work the grill, that's been working the grill for a while. They'll show you how to work the grill. So I'm like, all right. So I go, boom, I'm working the grill now. I'm dropping burger patties. I'm dropping everything right on the grill. So he come back there because I was dropping too many patties. So I had like 26 patties on the grill, but they already had in a prepper tray patties. So he was getting upset at me. He like, why you keep making so many patties? I'm like, well, he like, how many? He like, are you looking at your tray? Are you communicating? I'm like, he like, if you do that again, you're going to have to buy for each single patty. So I'm like, all right. So I scooped them up because they was half done, and I put them on the top of the spatula. So they were just sitting on the spatula. And I was waiting. Then we got busy. So it was Big Macs coming through. So we went through the sauce. We went through the patties. So we're going through the patties now. Boom, boom, boom. So Charlotte come back there. She like, hey, woo, y'all doing a good job back here on this grill. I'm like, Thank you. So when I got a break, I went up in the front and I had got me something to drink. So Charlotte was up there. I'm like, can I talk to you for a second? She like, what's up? I'm like, outside. She like, well, I'm still working. I'm like, can you go for a small break for like 5 minutes? She like, okay. So she told somebody to cover her. Boom. We go outside. I'm like, I'm sorry. She like, for what? I'm like, did I ruin y'all day last night? She was like, no. She like, he like to go to the club and party. You know, that's what he do. She like, I'm really a homebody. I'm like, you think that maybe you can come over and meet my mom? She like, meet your mom? I'm like, yeah, like, meet my mom. I'm like, I like you. I'm like, I never told nobody, like, right off the beat. Like, she like, well, I like you too, but I don't know. I'm like, so we cool? She like, yeah, we cool. I'm like, all right. And so I'm like, so you're not my boo? She like, no. So I'm like, you're not gonna meet my mom? She like, no. I'm like, all right, cool. You ain't my boo. Boom. We go in there. Now we made an establishment. The only reason why I wanted her to come meet my mom because I went out and I wanted to say, like, this the person who I was with. But also my mom could get familiar with her too. So boom. I ain't tripping on it. We're back at it. We're working, right? It's good. They going back out. It's that following weekend they going back out. So I end up, it's a girl that was working there. She was coming in late at night. And when she used to come in, she used to clock in and I used to be clocking out. And so she used to always play with me or like pull my hair and I used to always tell her to stop. And so we was flirting. And so Charlotte didn't like that. So Charlotte was like, can I talk to you? I'm like, what's up? So she ended up talking to me in the bathroom. We was in the girls' bathroom. And so I was like, okay, you got me in the girls' bathroom. I'm like, what you trying to show me? She like, so you like her? I'm like who? She like, you know who? I'm like, I don't like nobody here. I'm just here to work. Now, here's the deal. It's been months and months. They've been doing their thing, right? They ain't been including me in nothing. And they've been giving me a very tight, hard time, especially Raw. He been giving me a very tight time. Me and him about to get in a whole fist fight on the floor. It's finna go down. So she like, look, I didn't like the fact that I saw that she was pulling your hand, playing with you. I'm like, you doing your own thing. I'm like, you get people at the window to try to flirt with you all the time. Boom. She leaves out the bathroom. She like, I'm going to go clock out because I'm finna get ready to go for lunch. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm like, I'm finna get ready to go home soon. So I end up clocking out going home. So she like, I want to stop by your house. I'm like, what now? Remember, I told her to come meet my mom. So now she want to stop at the crib. I'm like, all right, cool. So she like, what's your address? She like, I got my car in the front. I'm like, oh, you drive? I didn't even know she drive. She like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I give her my address. She like, all right, I'm going to stop by.